Yeah, I don't see the preview. Yeah, are you able to see the Ubuntu VM?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Cool. So yeah, I turned on my Ubuntu VM. So this is my login. So as discussed, we are not going to use the GUI. So let me log into Putty and let me double check the IP one more time. Is here. So yeah, we're gonna discuss with these one, the cat nano, all these tools, how it is works, and the file management. Okay. Let me zoom to fit. So yeah, in earlier session we discussed about the disk drives. How does the disk drive is there, and what are all the file system Linux has, and on top of an extension, right? Okay. Let me. So we have the let's assume we have one hard disk. Okay, that is dev STA. That's the Linux naming. So we divide it into two different drives. Okay, as in two different partitions. Okay. So we have one dev STA1 and so what I did, I left out and one I mounted as slash here. So slash dev SDA1. So this is mounted as slash. Okay. And the other one I left out. But in case if we have a requirement like okay, in future we want to manage the home drive. So what I can do, I can mount the slash dev SDA2 as a home drive. So what do I mean by that is, so this is the disk and these are all partitions. Partition 1 and partition 2. So all my partitions I can mount however I want. So I can mount as a home drive, or I can mount as a var drive, or I can mount as a temp drive. So this partition management thing I'll show you a bit um, like bit later point of time, but this is the basic idea. Let me show you the disk. Okay, before coming there, so let me show you this one as well. So we have a folder. So under that folder, we have something called files. So each folder has something called three permissions. So that is, this is the directory, read, write, and execute. So, so read, R stands for read. So this would be 4, and this one would be 2, and this one would be 1. And we have something called groups as well, the user groups. So one would be um, owner, and another would be group, and final one would be others. Let me see if VN starts. Okay. Not sure. This one is not yet starting. Okay, I'll do one thing for time being a lesson one AWS VM. So we'll proceed for today.
Yes. Actually, I can't. I was unable to hear your voice. Is the same problem for everyone or for me?
Yes, Sasi, even I can't hear you.
Yeah. So see, it's been. I think already it's been five from past 5 minutes. So we are unable to hear you actually.
Okay, just a second.
Like I think from past 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, we are unable to hear you.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It was. We are hearing now.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the voice was got cut whenever you're launching the AWS VM. So you said that
Yeah,
we are going to work
yeah,
somewhere.
there was a problem that time. There was a problem that time. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
take care of it. Okay, let me. So yeah, what I was showing is, so there are three level of permissions here. So when I'm running a ls-ltr command, so for a directory, this is how it looks like. Okay. So what it says is D stands for directory, RWX read write permissions, read write execute permissions for the owner, and read write execute permissions for the group, and read no execute permissions for the others. So this is how these three stands for. And if you look at the file, so by default, the execute permissions will not be there. Only read write permissions will be there. So let's say if I wrote even a small shell script, there won't be any execute permissions for this. So we need to add it. So how will we add execute permissions is, so we'll use the command called chmod sr. So I'm gonna add execute permissions here, chmod +x file.txt. Okay. So yes, we have added the execute permissions for all three. Okay. Let's say, and since we added global permissions, right? That's the reason it's showing in the green color. Okay. So let's say we don't want to add complete permissions. We just want removes the execute permission. We can remove it like this. So if we do the minus, right, -x, so it will remove the permissions, whatever existing permissions. Okay. So other than this, there is another way we can assign the permissions, that is by numbering order. So we have 421, sorry. So 4 stands for read, 2 stands for write, and 1 stands for execute. So if we are doing something, we need to do a combination of it. Okay. So let me show you that. Let's say if I want to give all permissions to everyone, so that stands for 7, 7. So that would be like read plus write plus execute. Okay. So that is a little dangerous one. Usually people will not allow that. But yeah, let's give it a. So chmod 7. So yeah, if you see all the files are in green color, that's showing you have given full permissions. And if you see, you got all the permissions: read, write, execute, read, write, execute, and all. Let's say if I want to give only permissions for the owner level, okay, I don't want to give any other permissions for the group and others. So that's the time I stand like this. So that would be like chmod 700. So that is like you're providing owner only read permissions. So owner full permissions. All the other people, you're not giving any permissions. So they won't access the file. So these kind of thing we give for security keys or password files like. So for that one, we kind of give this kind of permissions. And here, if you see, the first one is user. And when we create a user, the group with the same name will also be created. The group name is also Ubuntu. So that's what it says. So this is about the chmod. You have something called chown. So let me show you that one as well. So chown stands for change the owner, and what is the user, what is the group you want to change. Okay, so you can just change the group as well. Chown. So let me show you. Yeah. So if you see, I change the specification went like this. There is a user and then the group. So the first one is user and second one is group. So I changed the group here. So the earlier group name is Ubuntu. Now I changed to sudo. So this is how we use chown. So what happens is, let's say you created some external drive or something. So that's the time you want to change complete permissions, complete drive permissions. Okay. So let me show you how that works. So are we going to use these things regularly? Yes. So we will use these things very regularly whenever we are doing our system admin tasks. And the once you do practice, so you will remember it like day to day thing. Yeah. Initially, I too had a little confusion. What is this numbering thing and all? But once you figure it out, you'll get like, okay, this is an easy thing. So sure. So I went into root mode and cd slash. So I'm in the slash directory. So here, I'm gonna create a folder, okay? mkdir drive, or let's say data. So if you see the data permissions, the data, it shows like it has a root level permission. This whole directory belongs to root, and even the group also belongs to root. And if you see the second user, the group level people, they cannot do the writing, and the third level people, as in the others, they cannot write or read. Okay, so let's go there. Let's write some content. So we'll use echo hello world. So we'll provide an arrow. So this arrow is called redirection, output redirection. So we'll come back to that. What do you mean by output redirection? So whatever the echo we are printing or some program we are executing, right? So we can print output to a file. So this is how we will print. So let's say if we give single double arrow, so it will append an output. So cat. So we have hello world and hello world 2. So yeah, there is a one second. So there is another command where it will show if you can print only the output or you can print only errors and all. Let me come back to that. Hey, DKR, do you have something to ask, man? Okay. Let's see the file level permissions for this. So yeah, only root user can read it. Okay, all other people can read it, but they cannot write it. Okay. So here the Ubuntu is our local user. So let's go to the drive cd/data. So you have hello world. So I can do read it. I cannot write it, right? So echo. This is Ubuntu user hello.txt. So what it's saying is the permissions have been denied. So I am a local user. I'm not the owner for this, so I cannot do anything. So there are two ways I can deal with this. So one, I can change the permissions. Two, I can change the owner. Okay. So I'll try with the changing the permissions. Okay. So what I'll do, chown, chmod plus w. So okay. I gave a right permission, but it's not showing up there. Okay, this was not taking the W one. It's not working here. So we'll go back to our native method where we want read permission and we also want write permission. So that's like 4 plus 2, 6. So we don't want execute permissions for our Ubuntu user. So we will do like this. So chmod. So yeah, this is read, write, execute, right? So it will be 7, read, execute. So this is 4 plus 1, 5. And the final one, we want to give 6, right? So chmod 7, 5, 6. So yeah, we provided the permissions. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, it's working now. It's looking little complicated, the hyphen symbols, but we given the proper one. So I'll recheck this one, why it's looking like this. Okay. Let me. So I tried to write an output here again. So since I gave one greater than symbol, so the output has been overwritten. Okay. So let me correct the file. So this time what I'll do is I'll give concat symbol, that is 2 greater than symbols. So if I see the output file now, so yeah, we have the both of the things came in. So the redirection symbols, it's override and concat. So yeah, this is about the file management. I didn't go to the user management yet. So any questions you have, guys, here? Rahul, DKR, Praveen. Yeah, I am audible, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Rahul.
yes. There are no questions here. Yeah.
No questions, right? Okay. So we'll move to these tools. So we have the tools called Cat, Nano, Vim, Echo Touch. Okay. So we will show you
Yeah,
what are
sure.
the, yeah. So this cat command, we kind of used it already. As I told, we're gonna use day to day. So in Windows Explorer, we'll just open a file to read the contents. So in Linux, we'll use cat. So display the file contents. So I'll show you a few more commands as well. We have nano. Yeah, this is editor. We'll come back to that. So we have echo. So echo is even a Windows command as well. So what we want is we want to display some output to the terminal. Okay, we want to write some output to the terminal. Even when we are doing shell script, okay, you pass this loop or something like that. So print output to the terminal. So we will see this one in the shell scripting. How does it work exactly? We have echo done. We have a touch. So this touch will print a dummy file. I mean, it will create a empty file. So with no contents. Okay. So let's say if you want to create some content to a file, that's the time you have to use echo. And we have the cat, which will show the content. So we worked on it already, but let me show you it. So cat etc. So this is what the cat command is showing all the file content. So that's with if we have a read permission, it will show, of course. And we have the echo command. So echo. So it is just printing the whatever the output, whatever the content we given, it's printing it to the terminal. Okay. So in shell script, we're gonna use it regularly. Is there any use for this? Yes, we have. We can use it to print the display variables or system environment variables, or we can use it for date. Okay. That's it. Okay, I'll come back to this. The date one, I think it would be a simple one, but I'll come back to that. We have the final one is touch. So touch will print the basically touch will create a empty files. Okay, so that will be touch empty file one. Okay, so what happening is we created earlier only permissions for file level. It's not created at the directory level. So how do we know? So if you see the data, it's showing only the owner is root. So for the owner only, they have the read write permissions. For the other people, this X, right? So they don't have any read or write permissions. So instead of doing the ch mod, right? So here what will I do is I'll change the owner completely. So that would be ch own data. And one other thing is, so there are two commands here. So when you're doing a ch own on a directory, so what it does is it will update the permissions on the directory, but there is a thing. Are you gonna change it for new files or you want to change for the existing files as well? So if you want to take care of existing files, so you need to provide the -r command. Okay, existing recursive files. Otherwise, it will only work for the new files. So let me show you that. See, for the same directory, the owner is still showing as root. Even we change the owner to Ubuntu. What will I do is I will change the recursive permissions. Okay, chown -r. Yeah, now we have the owner got changed. So for the even for the existing files, so we are creating a empty files. So touch empty file one. Okay, so this is the commands which we are using. So there are additional commands as well. So we'll go back. So one command we have is something called vim. Okay, vim is the default editor, comes with your thing, and we have nano. So you should be good either in one of these two. Okay, so the vim one, it looks like a command line thing, but it's really good. And the nano, it is useful for the beginners. Okay, so let's say if I'm little new and I don't know how to get all the commands, so that is very much good. So let's go with the easy one. Nano hello.txt. So this is the GNU Nano, the Nano program, whatever comes to default. So I'm pressing a down arrow and I'm writing my output here. Okay. So this is edited from Nano editor. So here we don't, yeah, we have something called write out and we have exit, right? So what I'll do, write out is control O, okay? Or what I'll do is I'll press exit, press escape button actually, okay? And control O it is, okay? So this is where it's showing. So control, yeah. So I pressed control O. So what it's saying is you want to write the file. It's showing the file name. Do you want to write it? Hello.txt. I'm just saying enter. So it said wrote 3 lines. Okay. So my file writing is done. So I want to exit. So I'll do with control X. So this is the command they shown here. Okay. So if I do a cat, yeah, that's how the nano works. Coming to Vim, it's little tricky for the beginners, but slowly you will get the flow. So vi hello.txt. Yeah, we won't have any GUI options here. So what will I do? I'm going pressing down arrow. So if I want to write a new line directly, I need to press go. So I have two modes here. There is a insert mode and there is a read mode. Okay. So I'm pressing escape. So this is in read mode now. Okay. So you cannot write the data. Only once you press I, so it's going to insert mode. So this data is being written from Vim editor. So I'm pressing, once it's done, I'm going to read the read mode, the default read mode again. Now the data is being written. So in order to come out of it, so we need to press escape WQ. So if you look it clearly, so I'm pressing colon and then WQ. So it will write and quit. So yeah, this is how it's been. I suggest you pick up Vim. It's up to you. You need to practice it regularly, all the Vim commands. So let's say if you want to, you are writing a big file, okay? Suddenly you want to jump into the top of the file, this one, top of the line, okay? Or suddenly you want to jump into the last line, right? So I can press GG. So if you see this, my cursor went into the first line, okay? Let's say if I want to go to the last of the line, right? I am at the first of the beginning of the line. So I think this would be, yeah, I pressed a dollar symbol. It went to the last. last of the line, and I'm pressing 0. So it came to the beginning of the line. And as I told, I'll press capital G. So it came to the last line. So if you practice it regularly, you will get hands on all these things. So how to traverse from here to here. So the problem with Linux is you won't get the mouse commands, the mouse to it won't work as perfectly in a Vim editor. So you need to be hands on with the all these shortcuts basically. So if you practice it regularly, you'll be good enough. So I'm doing WQ enter. So we have two more commands. So those two commands are head, and we have something called tail, and we have something called tail-f. So these tail-f command, you're gonna use it like very frequently. So I'll show you what it is. So head is like it will print the top line of the things. Okay. So I given head hello.txt. It printed 3 lines. So usually it prints top 10 lines. Okay. So I given head etc pass wd. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yes, it printed the top 10 lines. Is it 1, 5? Yeah, it printed 10 lines. Okay. Let's say if I want to print 20 lines, so head hyphen 20 etc. So it's printing top 20 lines, right? So that is how you use the head. It will show the top output. So why do we need head is, let's say if your file is too big, if you run cat, it will keep on going to the end of the screen. Okay, let me show you. Cat etc. So if you see, you started here, right? Since the file is big, it went till the end of the screen. So that is the time so you use head to print the top lines. Okay, top 10 lines. So tile is very important command. So it will show you the final output, like the last 5 lines of the last 10 lines. Okay. And tile is used for monitoring. Okay. So let's say there is one shell script or something which is returning the writing the data to a file. So you need to constantly monitor use using tail command. Okay. So what I'll do, tail hello.txt. So it's showing this data like the last 10 lines. Okay. What will I do? I'll just write some junk data to it. So now my file is big. I'm gonna write tail hello.txt. Yeah. So if you see, it's printing the last 10 lines. So what will I do? I return some data. Okay. Echo final output hello.txt. So I return append symbol. So it will add at the end of the file. So yeah, this return the final output. So let's say I return one more line. Okay, final output 1. So yeah, we rerun the tail command again. It is showing there is another command, another data has been written. So let's say what if we want to continuously monitoring it, okay? So that whatever the new changes were written, it will show it up here. So for that one, I'm doing a clear screen, CLEAR, okay, and tail hyphen F. So what it does is it will continuously update any latest changes, okay? So yeah, it didn't exit it. It's waiting for the data to be written. So what will I do? I'll press it 3. So whatever the data has been written, it is showing in the live, right? Okay. Yeah. So that's what it is, the tail command. and we covered chmod, chown, and we have the tar, zip, and user groups. So I think we are almost up, but I'll cover the user groups. Okay. So if I see here, we have something called who am I? Uh, yeah, I have two questions. Okay. So Satya asked two questions. So at organization level, which one is used to create a file? Is it touch, nano, vim? Touch is like for our local testing, so we don't use it too regularly. But yes, we can, like, let's say you have your home, right? See, this is Ubuntu user. They have their home permissions, home directory permissions. Otherwise, you have a temp user. You can create the touch file however you want. So that's just for testing purpose. And I'd say mostly we do use Vim. Most of the people they do prefer Vim. If not, some people they prefer nano. So there is no organization standard, but the suggestion goes for Vim. Okay, if you created file with read write permissions only for the user, but suppose if you okay, let me put it here. So yeah, you created read write permissions, execute only for the owner. If I want to access the file, so can I change the modifications? It's like if I can, then there is no security compromise. Anyone can change it. Why do we need these RWX things? Okay, that's a good question. DAR2. So I created from Ubuntu user. So now the DAR2 is coming under Ubuntu directory. So let me create a fresh one. Okay. So mkdir data 2. Okay. It should be root. Okay. So mkdir data 2. So I have the data too. The question comes with, I guess it should be with the RWX and the chown. So let me show you that. So the default directory permissions are only the execute permissions. Only other users can go ahead and execute. So there is no read write thing. So what will I do is I'll provide full level permissions for this. So cd data to echo hello. Yeah, I have the permissions has been denied. So I'll give full permissions to the directory ch mod 77. So I given full permissions. So now it will show as a temp, right? So if you see temp, right, it is showing in green. That means it has full permissions. Okay. So let me show you this. So now the data has the owner as root, but it has all the permissions. So my Ubuntu user goes inside this data directory. So let's try to create a file. So yes, they were able to write the file. So can my Ubuntu user change the permissions? Okay. Yeah. Let's say you created another file, read write permissions only for the owner. If I want to access the file, I can change. Can I change the modifications? Security compromise. Okay. So yes, Ubuntu user can able to change this, can able to access this file. Okay, but he cannot change the file permissions. Okay. So this came in because this guy created it. Okay, let the root guy create one file. Okay. cd touch root test. So this file has been created by root by default, and we will provide chmod permissions here. Okay. Now the question would be, can Ubuntu user, since the permissions are open, can Ubuntu user update the permissions of this? Okay. So let's try chmod uh, 0. So he cannot change it for root and group because the owner is itself is root. So he cannot touch the owner user and owner group. So we can do only the last one. So what it's throwing error is changing the permissions of the file is not allowed. So why it's happening? We given permissions only to read, write, execute. We didn't given permissions to change the ACL, as in the permissions of this file. Okay, only the owner can do it. So let me change the owner. So I changed the owner to Ubuntu. So let's give it a try now. So yeah, we can change the file permissions, whatever you want. So that whole thing belongs to the owner. So if we give the owner permissions, so we can do however we want. Otherwise, we can just access the file. That's it. So I'll conclude it here, guys. I'll come with better preparation next time. So the VM issues and all, I'll sort it out. So I guess we are good for there. Any questions you have till now, whatever we covered, right? Any questions you have, guys?
No, CC.
Okay. Others, yes. Okay, since I am aware, like I'm going very basic level, so let's hold on for some more days or some more time. So we will go a bit advanced. So I'm trying to make sure you are covering all basics. So once we get the basics covered, we'll go at the regular pace. So you might get some questions there then. And you have any let's say when you are trying out you got any issues or you have any doubts, so please reach out or otherwise bring up in the next session so we can discuss about it. So I guess we are good for the day. Yeah, thank you guys, thank you everyone.